the more I seek truth, the more I seek knowledge, the more I seek a specific lifestyle that I believe leads to wisdom. Like wisdom is the greatest gift. I'm learning for myself. It could not be for you, whatever. The more you realize you don't know. So in that way, if you consider a cup, and a lot of the cliche around this is be careful who you let pour into your cup, and be careful who you let pour into your cup. It's more around be careful that you don't walk around with your cup full. Hear what I'm trying to say? If you believe, we're talking about not believing, but now let's get into the possibility of belief. If you believe you know everything there already is to know, then you're walking around with a full cup. And what happens when you believe you know everything you need to know and you walk around with a full cup? When somebody goes to pour into your cup something you may not know, because I assure you, there is something you do not know. I assure you, you are not going to know everything you need to know, nor are you going to know everything there is to know, because it is literally impossible, because we are limited in that way. And also, the audacity of you to believe that you, as a finite being with limitations and flaws, could know everything there is to possibly know. How ignorant can we possibly be that we could believe that we know everything, and that our opinion, our biases, belief, and prejudices, because that's what it is. It's just what you know because you think you know it, how you think you know it, so therefore it's true. It's only true to you. It's not true for everyone. But anyway, I digress from the perspective of the audacity of you, the arrogance and the ignorance to think that you really do know everything. But okay, fine. You believe that you believe what you believe. So in that way, when you're walking around with your full cup, when somebody goes to pour in something new, you overflow, which means what? What you could have experienced, you will not experience because you're walking around with a full cup. And so in that way, you could also be walking around with a full cup of disbelief. And because you're walking around with a full cup of disbelief, and it's so easy for you to not believe, and it's so easy for you to discuss your disbelief, that when somebody goes to pour belief into you, you can't hear it because you know everything. Because you're so secure that everything you believe is everything you need to know. And that's where we get into this routine as a society and culture and crowd of people of judgment, envy, and jealousy, and coveting, of gossiping, complaining, this rationalization and reasoning of disbelief. And I believe, when faced with that, we can't confront it because we've already accepted belief of the disbelief. And then we reinforce it regularly in our own minds, in how we speak to ourselves, and how we treat ourselves, and how we move around as ourselves, and then how we go about our business of relationally experiencing life. Whether it's intimate, I talk about this. This is like, I could just use the same analogies and just put different words and layer it, because it's all the same. Not it's all the same thing, but it's relative in that way. Patterns, habits, behaviors, identities. It all is reinforced to you. That's why I don't waste my time trying to debate with somebody who is fully and blissfully ignorant. There's no sense. Your cup's already full. You don't want to hear it. So therefore, I have nothing to say to you. In that same way, my cup is, if it's half full, that's too much. I don't want you pouring none of that into my cup. Keep your ignorance, your negativity, your hate, your jealousy, your weakness, your disbelief away from me. Do not pour it in my cup. Do not spill it anywhere around me. I don't want to trip and fall on it. I don't want to be infected with it. It's a disease to me. And in that way, I'm unapologetic. I'm unapologetic. Because also in the same way, if I take the time to go and put in the diligence to believe what I believe, and build a security in what I believe, I don't want none of your insecurities. I'm already insecure enough. That's part of it. Like a lot of folks misconstrue the realization of, I want to talk positively. I want to vibrate at a high level. I want to speak my truth in a way that is confident and that shows resilience and stamina and discipline and fortitude and excess excess of love, excess of belief, excess that I am everything I say I am, and that's not narcissistic. We wanna just look at that and watch that and judge it and critique it because it's so different from what we think we need to do. I'm somehow the one that has a problem. I'm not even trying to bring it to you. I'm just saying that leave me alone. Let me create my bubble in my energy space. Let me be me how I want to be me. Let me love on me how I want to love me. Let me create my own little force field of life and love. And if it doesn't vibe and flow with you, that's cool. Bounce off. Let it go. Don't pour into my cup. I don't want to pour into your cup. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't need you to want to have nothing to do with me. And guess what? I can still show you love. Matter of fact, I would argue that's me showing you love. Because in the same way, I don't want nothing from you that doesn't jive with who I am. I don't need to be giving me to you if it doesn't jive with who you are. I'm not ignorant in that way. I'm not going to say, I don't believe you're good for me. That also means I'm not good for you. I'm good with that. No, there's no hate. There's no hate. There's no animosity. There's no friction for me. It just is. It just is. And guess what? I can also agree that maybe I'm blissfully ignorant. And I am in a way because there's still what? So much more I need to know. So while I'm in my way to know, while I'm in my own way and realizing that and dealing with the possibility that I need to improve every day. Why? Because if I don't, then I could fall into a pattern of disbelief. And I have enough disbelief. I am in tuned, aligned, and in the face of disbelief at all times. I can feel it at all times. It's the way I said to I was having this conversation with my wife. And I was listening to something as far as like an awakening. And I was kind of sort of feeling this, but I didn't know how to sort of rationalize this. But here's the reality, right? As my children would say, I run the risk of crashing out. You're about to crash out, Unc. They call me the egg. They call me egg. They call me Unc. They call me all kinds of things. Are you at risk of crashing out? Absolutely. Why? Because I can rage just like you. It doesn't, like, I'm not trying to say it in a way like, that makes me a threat to you, or if you're a threat to me. It's like, we got to be a little more mature about the emotional experience and the realization of, I'm just saying, you go do you, let me do me. And if you're in my way, I can rage just how you can rage. I can be ignorant just how you can be ignorant. And I choose to really fight not being that way. And because I have to fight it, because I know what it does, it creates disbelief, anxiety, stress. It makes me question what I'm doing, which then when I'm this lesser version of myself, it creates conflict with the people I really love, the bubble of life I'm trying to create. I have to fight that every day. Every single day I have to fight about, I don't want to be in a state of disbelief because it's easy to not believe. It's easy to not do what I said I was going to do because I only tell myself what to do when I know I need to do certain things, because the things I need to do are things that will improve me. And so because I know I need to constantly do things that need to improve me, I know how difficult it is to do things that are going to continually improve me. I want none of the, I'd rather be ignorant in that way. And I'll even accept that. I'll even accept that you believe that I'm fucking losing my mind. That's cool. Let me lose it. But at least I can create some sort of belief around my disbelief. At least I can create an awareness around my disbelief. At least I can create the reason and rationalize that I'm going through this experience and I got to do something about it. Because the alternative is to do nothing. And what happens when we do nothing? We get the same thing we've been getting. I don't want any of that. I'd rather even be ignorant to the perspective of, or from the perspective of, at least if I attempt something different is going to happen. Because left to do nothing, left doing nothing. One of the other things I wrote down here as we're pushing against time. Thank God I feel, I complained yesterday on the live about the frustration with my respiratory issues. I still feel a little sick. I'm still feeling the remnants. I didn't want to necessarily take that NyQuil, but I knew it would make me feel better. Thank God I have access to that. I think a lot of times we believe, and we got to be careful with what we put in our bodies. I care about my body a lot because I need my body to live. So in that way, I don't want to be ignorant, but also when I'm suffering, do I leave myself suffering? You know, I went a couple of days with no medication. I didn't know about. I was ignorant to that flu bomb, right? The garlic, the turmeric, the pepper, the hot water, lemon, and honey. I think those are some of the things I forgot from earlier as I reflected on what I was talking about. But hey, I'm open to that. I'm open to that. I'm open to all possibilities. I'm open to also believing that while my cup, that's why I keep my cup half full, quarter full. Because what I believe right now could change tomorrow. I said it before. I have that right because I put in the work to know that I'm open. I broaden my scope out to all the possibilities that I believe God and Creator offers us, so that in that way I don't miss nothing. That's like you know, the idea that your cup might be full, and and you don't want to hear nothing from nobody else because I'm just like you and you're just like me. Who am I? You're right. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I to suggest that you should live your life differently? I'm nobody to suggest you should live your life differently. I'm still trying to figure out how to live my life differently. And because I haven't figured out and settled on how I want to live my life from the perspective of, okay, I have some principles, some values, some ethics, some morals, some values, and I align with that. But there's still a lot of things I don't know, and there's still a lot of decisions that I fluctuate on, and there's still a lot of things that permeate that I question myself about. So in that way, I gotta maintain a level of steady and focus to realize I'm still not that person that I want to be. So in that way, I know that you might not be the person you want to be, or if you are and you said, yo, Jeff, I'm already that person. Fine, go be that person. Go be that person. There's nothing for me to say. In the same way, you already actualized, you already where you at, and you good. You, if anything, I'm sure I could take something from you, but in the same way, I got to keep my cup a quarter full, half full, because I have a lot of things I need to learn more. My point to all that was this: it's not just another human, which you see me as another you're just another dude, right? I'm trying to appreciate that if God is all, God is you. So I don't really want to dismiss you arbitrarily from the perspective of, like, we're all going through this experience together, are we not? Yeah, we experience it individually. Yeah, there's an ego. That's my timer. Yeah, there's all these things that make it personalized, but I am you and you am I, and all is God. We talk that game, but we don't really live that game, because then there wouldn't be as much conflict between us as there is. It's not to suggest that we should all kumbaya and get along all the time, because then in the same way, life will be boring. I'm not suggesting that. But we shouldn't have this level of turmoil, this level of friction, this level of hate for our neighbors. Love thy neighbor. We'll read the book. We'll recite the book. We'll talk about it, but we don't live it as much as we possibly do. My point to all that is I get tangential, is this. Forget the fact that you could possibly learn something from another human, that human who could be the same as you, which is God. What if God, I said this yesterday, what if God calls on you in a different way? What if God sends a message in a different way? What if God is trying to speak, but you're walking around with your cup full? I'm just asking the question. Whatever you believe in. What if what you wanted to believe in, because the question is, why don't we believe? What if what you were looking to believe in was coming your way, but you're walking around with your cup full? You're going to miss it. And then you're going to complain about it. Why are we more comfortable sharing our failures than success? Maybe that's a conversation for another day. Maybe this has gone so good. I feel great. Man, I feel great. What am I trying to accomplish here? I'm trying to feel great about myself and reveal to you a possibility of how, if we're all the same and we all have possibilities, and you're not necessarily vibrating a lot of greatness and happiness, because that's what it is. It doesn't have to be money. Not to say I don't want it. Not to say I don't. It's not necessarily a craving. I'll accept whatever it is. I'll accept all of it. I'm open to all of it. I am not dismissive of nothing. That's why my cup is not full. But I offer you my experience as just one regular dude. I'm one regular dude, just like you. I am the same. I am no different. I am the same. I am no different. But in a lot of ways, because I am the same and I am no different, I've gone through a lot of turmoil. I worry deeply about additional turmoil. I've gone through despair. I worry deeply about continuing to go through despair. I've lost some. I worry deeply about really losing a lot. It's been hard. I worry about it getting harder. And so, because I can't predict what's going to happen, and because fate and is unpredictable, and we talk about these things regularly, and there's some things you're just unprepared for. It doesn't mean you can't prepare. That's what it is. So I look to offer myself the possibility that I can believe, in turn, try to radiate that out to you and see what happens. See what happens. If for no other reason than continuing to hold ourselves accountable, continuing to move in the direction of belief, and continuing to enjoy to the maximum that we can all the possibilities that life could offer us, right? Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich. Ooh.